Awesome. Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
Ginger and I
Oh,
here. Now we tried to do one last night, but we failed, or at least I didn't like it, so we scrapped it. We're doing a whole another one now. So I want to do a brief synopsis of what we're going to talk about before we continue on. One is the first thing is it's around the anniversary of Nigel dying. So this is it's like today's the anniversary of when we were unsure whether or not he was going to live or die, and I think he died on the 16th. Um, Irish Eye sent me a message this morning to say that too, that she thought that it was the anniversary, and Ginger and I talked about it a bit last night. So that's one thing we're going to talk about a little bit. Another thing we're going to talk about is this year and what we were talking about at the beginning of the year and what we anticipated would this year would be about, and if or not it's been about that. We're also going to talk about the current chaotic state that we feel that reality's in, or the external reality's in, and why that is the case. And we're going to talk about the word real eyes, as in REALEYES, that we need to realize that we're actually the ones writing the script, and perhaps just a few things about Neo and about Neo being the one, the anagram of the one, and a little bit about the Matrix movie. And we're also going to talk about getting our power back, and we're going to talk about asking for help and what that contains. Then we're going to touch a little bit on what our New Year's message was last year and what happened with regards to making the choices that were reflected in that message, and be a little bit about accepting the abnormal as normal. So that means the psychic, in a psychic sense, like what we used to deem as, oh, that's totally weird, is now actually, oh, that's totally normal. All right. So I'm only just giving you a brief synopsis so we can start at the beginning again. So coming back to the anniversary of Nigel's death. So a year gone by. Have you got anything you want to say about that, Ginger?
I just remember it being, I was looking forward to working with both of you and devastated when we learned the news that he wasn't with us any longer. He was such a great character, and I'm grateful to be a part of a memorial video, an opportunity to memorialize this wonderful character who guided so many of us through some of the craziest days of my life. I was very much in the comment section with you folks and cheering you both on and all your other guests and yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to actually connect with Nigel, but I feel like we never lose that ability to connect with somebody, because I feel like our spirit is eternal, and you know I'd like to think that Nigel is sometimes with us and cheering us on.
Yeah, yeah, me too. His death certainly rocked my world, and it took me about 3 months to actually regain some of that energy, especially because I got so heavily into making videos with him and stuff. And suddenly it was like, whoa, hold on a second, what's happening here?
Hmm.
So I miss him dreadfully. Um, anyway, very sad. But
Yes.
all right, so then we're going to go on to talk about the this year that's gone by. So I'm going to skip to what we were talking, our New Year's message. I watched that this morning just to see what we were talking about in relation to what to expect for this year, and to
Were
actually
there any
see.
surprises, Kim? Anything that stood out to you?
Well, I made a few notes. Uh, you were talking quite a lot about choices, taking a choice that was to do with the chariot, and it was to do with the two directions, the two different options, and that we were going to become more empowered in ourselves in relation to making those choices. And if we didn't uptake that self responsibility, and we didn't uptake that I'm going to be achieved to be the best person that I'm going to be, an upward motion, like what can I do
Mhm.
today to make myself a better all round person? If we didn't do that, that would kind of sink into the chaos.
Yes, that was my perception.
And also you talked a bit about the tower moment coming this year. And I know so many people that have had major crisis this year, major upheaval, unexpected sometimes, and a lot of people have set off on their own different journey, changing house, changing relationship, changing uh, separation in relationships, or changing jobs, or changing everything. So many people have had that tower year, and talked to a lot of people who have upheaved themselves during this year.
It's a force of energy that won't you can't control it. It certainly influences us. And I think that we're given guidance, but I think many of us are in denial of the guidance that we each receive. And when we sit in denial of what we're hearing or feeling or knowing or seeing, then chaos will ensue because this is how it works from my experience. This is why I always say I'm in the flow and I'll listen and I'll do as I'm told because I know that to be in resistance of that higher guidance is like asking for chaos. And I prefer not to have that kind of chaos.
Okay, so I'm having a discussion with a pal of mine, Pete, the other day on Telegram, like yesterday or something, and we were talking about the surface chaotic state, and that
Mhm.
the underneath of that is the real ice brewing, like that chaotic state, and then the realization, but that's spelled REALEYES because it's like seeing the illusion. So what he said was the insanity is there to distract us from the knowledge that we are writing the script.
Mhm.
So the insanity being the escalation of whatever's going on. So it appears to be manic. It appears to be out of control. But the only reason that it's out of control is because it's external, because it's actually out of our control to control the external world. Um, but we might try to help the external world, especially when the external world requests assistance.
Yes.
And when we do that, the problem is the external world wants to request assistance for us, but then it wants to control us in assisting them. And it's like, whoa,
Yes,
hold on a second. Yeah, I offered my help, but you do you, boo. That whole you do you, boo statement. So
that's right.
you end up getting sucked back into the abyss because then there's a resistance that comes up. So like I said, people are crazy right now. um, Always remember that the external is the illusion. And if you're trying to control the external world, you're wrong.
Yes,
Stop trying to control it because it'll just create more chaos. And then we talked a little bit about there's only one. And then the one in the anagram form becomes Neo, which led me into the Matrix. And the fact that Neo in the Matrix really kind of mastered it and he could fly. I mean, if you don't take that literally, if you take that kind of what's the word, like abstractly, like, yeah, you can fly if you want to. You're the writer of the script, mate. And that
that's
was what
right.
that movie was showing. It was showing that he was the one, but we are the one. And to dodge the bullets, and the dodging the bullets again, that's like, you know dodging the bullets. It's like dodging the minefield or walking you making your own way through the minefield.
Well, knowing
um
that your shield is strong enough to deflect the bullets, you don't even have to try now. You just put a powerful shield around, and you know that it's going to deflect anything that comes to you and send it back tenfold.
just
Not only that, you can offer to transmute it into, tenfold, I'll send back love, because I don't have to sing to whatever they're aiming at me with.
Yeah.
I don't have to do that. I can totally shift that energy in that moment as it's being deflected back.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for what I emit,
Good.
and I keep my shield very, very strong,
Taking your power back.
taking my power back.
And controlling your own mind, like it's up to you how you have the mindset. So we've been learning all of this year. I feel it's been an amplification. I don't know how much self-discipline you've been performing in this year, but I know personally I've really been up in the ante on that one, really been as self-disciplined as I can be without being anal, because
I
I'm just
took every I can't statement I thought I had, I thought I had them all nailed, and I challenged every one of them. And I said, right, if I can't walk the talk, then I should probably be quiet. And so I turned my whole life upside down. I went and did something I haven't done in almost 2 decades, and I killed it. I slayed it. I did what I set out to do. I'm not in the mood to share details, but I feel very good about that. I slayed all the things that I thought would make me uncomfortable and make it challenging. And I said, no, not today. I've got this.
yeah.
And I just walked in that avatar of knowing that I could do it. I can do it. I can do it. And I wouldn't shut up about it. And people approached me and asked, like, wow, how? Like I want to learn how to feel like that because it was actually remarkably easy once I stepped into that motion. I said, okay, show me that I can't. I'm going to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. And I just developed this strong, strong will. And I challenged myself like I haven't done in a long time.
It's really
I
good. And
feel
that's what
very,
I'm talking
very
about. Like
good. Yeah.
upping the ante and saying, no, I can do this. I've got this. I can manage this. I've got the capacity to manage this now. I've got the capacity to do this now.
And the only thing
So
that really changed was our story, right? Because we are the
script,
illusion, like we're the authors.
we are.
We are the
We're everything.
authority.
We're everything.
Yeah.
We're the writers, we're the authors, we're the actors, we're the directors, we're everything. Imagine, I always think of it like being in a cinema and there's a movie playing on the screen, right? And you're standing there and you're shouting at that movie, that screen,
Yeah.
right? Completely pointless. But that's you depicting your own life and going, well, why was it like that? Well, it's a screen in front of you. Change it, change
That's
your
right.
script. And the only way that you can change your script is by changing the inside emotional way that you react. This reaction thing is huge, right? The this atomic kind of thing of falling out and I'm just talking in atomic language, having having a trigger and then having an atomic reaction to that and then having a fallout and then having the toxic um feelings afterwards from the fallout.
Well, at some point you have to look and see, well, what's the common denominator? Because if it's like that with everybody around you, then you have to start to wonder. And, really important for us all to do some mirror work. How are we affecting our relationships? Are we being the best possible person to the people in our circle? How do we manage our energy and protect it at the same time? So give that energy, but at the same time say, whoa, no, you're not today.
Yeah.
And be that teacher for people who, I feel for them because I feel like this is their own inner dialogue that they just haven't learned to master. What we're asking is mastery over your emotional intelligence. It's not being triggered by certain things, and especially the things that are being offered to us. We're getting flooded with information, and this is part of the insanity that we're seeing with people.
Mm, mm.
And everybody's got their own script. Well,
Oh,
it's a mixed up world, that's for sure. If we can all just sort of agree on kindness at least.
yeah, yeah. I try to practice kindness as much as I possibly can. And I often think of the term there, but for the grace of God go I,
Yes.
when I look at somebody and think, um, oh, that poor person or something. I think, well, no, actually, it this could be me. Um, so, all right. And then we talked a little bit
I agree,
yesterday
but like
about,
once again, Kim, at some point you have to say, right, this is what I'm able to do, and then beyond that, I have to take back my power and keep my shield strong
okay,
because we
so,
we can we can only observe. We cannot we can try and influence, but at the end of the day, it's not our script to run.
I'm just
We
going to,
have to let go of the outcome, is what I'm hearing over and over and over again. Do it and just let go.
oh,
Do what pleases you. If it pleases you to be of some support, and then do it and let go of the outcome.
right. I'm going to share my screen for a minute. Um,
Mhm.
because I'm going to show a beautiful video that a friend sent me to me.
Isn't that nice? Oh, how lovely.
Isn't it gorgeous? Look at that sky. Isn't
No,
that
isn't
lovely?
that gorgeous?
Look at that. Look at that pink sky, the clouds.
And that's a nice video for the Scorpio moon. We're in Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, and this is the new moon. And, I think for some people, this moon has had a bit of a stinger. I know a lot of people are really sick around us. Scorpio is a water sign. Oh, look at that. I like that. Celestial University actually posts some really cool stuff. So if you're not following them on Facebook, I highly recommend. Two sides of my personality. And I think, that's kind of true for all of us. We're trying to
Yeah, we're trying to be the
help,
best
we're
we
trying
can
to,
be, and at the same time, we want to be ourselves. It's like
that's
this
right.
expression. Right. I want to read this out to you. So a friend of mine sent this to me, and it was done by Sarah Zula. So read this slowly. There is a massive change for the better happening on the planet right now, and this change won't be announced on the news, and it hasn't gone viral. And if you don't look for it, you won't even notice it's happening. This change is really quietly happening in the hearts of humanity, and people are realizing we become what we focus our attention on, and we influence this reality based on who we become. So people are realizing that fighting is senseless and focusing on the chaos is futile. Rather, people are quietly focusing on creating their vision of heaven on earth. They are healing themselves and focusing on creating more beauty. People have realized that awakening to their own divinity is what protects them from manipulation and allows them to become the change they want to see. It's sweeping through the nation, but it's hard to notice. However, its strength is growing in numbers, not strength in numbers to fight. Fighting only breeds more fighting. It's strength in numbers to create such a beautiful world that it will be obvious for others to join, to the point where one day they will hold a war and no one will come. The frequencies of war, greed, and manipulation will no longer be able to exist in a reality full of sovereign, awakened beings living in their connected divinity.
And
Thank
so it
you.
is.
Thank you
And let
very
it
much.
be.
Let it
Yeah,
be.
it's beautiful. I love that.
So that was one thing I wanted to show you. And then the other thing, I think, I just wanted to talk a little bit about psychic sense and how we used to like say, oh my goodness, that was insane. Like this happened and that happened and these synchronicities happened. And oh, can you believe that? That like it's like we've moved into normalizing that. And you were talking about it with that TV show. What was the TV show called? Um,
Oh, gosh.
um can't remember it.
What show was it?
The show you were
Oh,
talking
don't know.
about earlier. The one it's not Morgan Mindy, it's I don't know, you were talking you
Oh, gosh, I don't know, Kim. I don't know what it would have been. But I do know myself when I first started to speak, sort of like, I mean, people that I've been really close to have always sort of shared these ghosty stories, we used to call them,
Yeah.
and didn't quite have the language that I do today. And when I started to speak this language about, the esoteric, the metaphysical, the energetic side of it, I started to speak a different language. And I would start by saying, this might sound crazy. And but the more I said it, the more I realized, no, it's actually not as crazy as I thought it was. Because so many people it was resonating. It was hitting home, like hitting home for a lot of us. And and so I've dropped that part and I just speak it now.
Yeah.
I no longer think it sounds crazy because I
Yeah.
know that, like, we were sharing how obscure some of the messages are. Like, you find yourself talking about something so random,
Mm.
and you don't know why you're bringing this information forward, but if you just trust in it, then you'll discover that it might have a strong message attached to it for somebody else.
Well,
And just trusting in that stream of information that's coming to you at that moment, and speaking it without fear.
I can remember as part of my near death experience, I was having this weird thing where people were talking to me in depth about these really complex subjects. And then I go back to talk to them about it and they wouldn't be there. The people
Mm,
wouldn't know. They go, no,
yes.
no, I don't know anything about that. And it was amazing that when I started to talk about that happening, the amount of people that had also had that happen.
Yes.
That's the kind of thing that I find like there's no holds barred in these days. Anything you want to talk about, doesn't matter how outrageous it is, anything you want to wear, that's okay. Um, it's all completely okay. Everything's okay.
You do
You can
you, boo, but like in
you
the
do.
same time, have some tolerance for my point of view too, right?
Yeah,
You know, like
absolutely.
I had a young person once, I was shopping, and the young person said, I'm single because unfortunately I'm gay. And I said, well, hold on a minute. I said, maybe start to love yourself, and be a little kinder to yourself, and then maybe you wouldn't be single. Why do you mean unfortunately you're gay? Embrace that if that's who you are.
Yeah,
Love yourself
yeah,
regardless of what your script is,
yeah,
regardless of what society tells you to be.
yeah,
Be kind to yourself first. We
yeah.
can't pour from an empty cup. And as soon as I caught that, I thought, well, I can't believe I'm having this conversation, but here I am. I just wanted
Mm.
a pair of jeans.
Yeah, I know. I get that. All right. So, anything else you want to talk about? Oh, I'll tell you what we were going to talk about. We're going to make another video later, but it'll be based upon the energy of next year. We'll just touch on
Mhm.
it a tiny little bit. It's Ginger's favorite year because it's the year of the dragon, and Ginger loves her dragons, and I love my
I
dragons
do.
too.
I do.
Um, and so that's going to be great when we get to talk about that because it's all very, very exciting. The
I
one
was
that
reading a little bit about it today, and it's the wood dragon. And the person that I was reading it from, I can't think of what the name of the place was. I was on some website, and I really liked how they were describing it. And they were saying that wood is the mother of fire.
oh
And
my God,
I
I didn't.
really liked that. And because I always sort of wondered, well, how does this wood element work here? And I thought, well, of course, no fire without wood. So wood is the mother of fire, and this is the wood dragon coming up. So it's a very powerful energy, a good time for, getting things started, but not for everybody. For some people, there will still be some endings because there's always opposition on a wheel. You're sitting opposite something. And so there might be some challenges ahead for people as well.
Okay, well, like dragons to me always mean surprise. Like if you saw a
Yes,
dragon, it would be like, oh my God, that's a dragon. Whoa. And the reaction of people towards dragons. So I would say next year is going to be full of surprises and shocking, and it's shocking, so it's like full of shocking energy, stuff that we haven't yet unpacked that suddenly becomes revealed and comes to us in the form of a dragon. Uh,
yes. Material wealth as well. I feel there's great opportunities ahead for people that are ready to take the plunge and work hard, and or bring forward whatever it is that they think that they'd like to manifest.
Yeah,
Put some action into it.
yeah. All right. Well, but we'll talk more about that later. That
Yeah, it's
I'm
exciting what's coming up, I feel.
I feel very inspired to make a dragon painting made out of wood. Like,
Oh, I love that.
you know what you could do is get like wood chips and make a painting using glue, and wood chips
Hmm,
make the body, the scales of the dragon, but the rest of the painting. Anyway, that's an idea.
that sounds pretty cool. I know somebody that's got a laser engraver. I maybe commission a little piece of art. That might be something interesting to work on, Kim. Get
Mm,
some dragons, get some dragons ready for next year. It's a green energy as well. And some of us might see that as the energy of love.
right.
And so the green wood dragon year is coming up. It's
So
exciting.
what does the wood dragon breathe?
The wood dragon, I think, breathes opportunity.
Does
It's
he breathe?
opportunity for
Does he
us.
breathe fire though, or what does he
Oh
breathe?
yeah. Oh
Oh, but
yeah. All I think
it's
all
actually earth element, isn't it? So it's like it's more like breathing. It's more like breathing.
material wealth.
Yeah, but
So
how do you infuse that? Like, and imagine a water dragon like coming out of the water, and imagine a fire dragon spewing forth fire. What does a wood dragon emanate? How does it
the
emanate?
green man, to me, it emanates the truth because when we sit in the forest and we just listen, it emanates the truth. It's the wisdom of the trees. If we just take in nature, it emanates nature. It's earth. It's the heart. And if we just allow that nature to continue to teach us and reveal the opportunities that she's trying to show us and become very comfortable, like it's also an 8 year. So in the tarot, that's the strength card. Again, it's just going to be a really powerful year for people, and some of us at least. And it's the lady with she's got them. She's looking into the mouth of the lion. She's
My
developed this great strength through being fearless.
Yeah, I told you this when I originally got my tarot cards. I had a dream around about that time, maybe even that night about Merlin came out and he took me into a cave, and all the tarot cards were engraved on the sides of the cave and the meanings of them, or the
That's cool.
interpretations. And he
Mm.
took me in front of the strength card and showed it to me and said it was not strength, it was meant to be courage.
Yes, I
That
agree with
strength,
that.
watered down strength, is not the correct energy of what that card means. He actually showed me three cards, but that was what he said about strength.
I've never been fond of the word used for that card, and I,
No.
I like what you've just shared, Kim.
Mm.
Yeah, that's more like it.
Courage,
Courage,
like putting your hand in the lion's mouth. It would take courage to do that. Have you
fearlessness. You
have
know
you
what fear? There's nothing to fear but fear, they say. So if you
have,
approach a lion with fear in your heart, that lion is not stupid, and that lion might see you as a threat because if you're fearful, you're likely going to swing first.
have you ever watched those videos of like lion reunions, like people going
They know, just like
and
elephants. I saw an elephant reunion story the other day. It was
uh
really cool. These elephants came running down the river to a gentleman that had looked after them, sometime in the past. And he stood there confidently knowing they weren't going to plow him over. These massive elephants running towards this man, and he just stood still and let them. And the way they surrounded him, I thought they could crush him easily right now. No, he just stood confidently. He kissed them and loved them and showed them that yes, it really is the person that they thought it would be.
look at this. Have a look at just it's just one of them.
Animals know. Yeah, look at now how many of us would be able to do that without being terrified? I'm terrified for her. Like I'm actually scared for her because at any given moment this could go really wrong.
Yeah, exactly. You get those claws out and just look at
Yeah, like
that.
is she saying, "Okay, I love you, but get down"?
Yeah,
Because I mean, I don't let my dogs do this to me.
that's like scary.
Yeah,
And this
I'm
one,
not a cat toy. I'm not a cat toy.
look at that one.
That's stunning. You know, the
He's,
animals know,
he says
and
he
energy
saved a
doesn't lie.
baby.
A lot of words people use, and they think that, please don't insult our intelligence, eh? Like, because energy doesn't lie.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't lie at all. And it's always there. It's always present and they don't forget. It's not
And this is what the animals are showing,
yeah,
that always tell their story. They don't need words to communicate their story. If you're a really keen listener, you'll hear it, you feel it, and just watch. They'll show you.
no. I'm very sad now.
Just like those animals did. Like they know the energy of love and
Yeah. And
fearlessness,
you
and
feel
we're
it.
friends. We're friends. I love you, lion.
Yeah.
Like what if you just said that over and over again?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the shield.
Yeah.
Really, truly, that's the shield. It's the
Yeah.
energy of love that protects us. It's like not judgment. Of course, not everything is going to feel good to us, and it's not something that we want to embrace or put a lot of our energy into. But we can send love, even though it's not for us, right?
Right. I'm gonna kill her out there.
That's why I thought, getting the hang of this.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. And look forward to hearing what your comments are or whatever. And you all take care.
Yeah, all the best. Bye for now.
Bye.